Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Campus Care Ed Talks. Ed Talk is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to education and society. Our topic for discussion is importance of bonding and togetherness for today's youth. And to express their views on the same, we have Miss Parveen A.R. Jamadar, principal of RM Shah Public School in Vijayapura. Before moving forward, let me introduce you to what Entab is. It is a 22-year-old young company associated with premium schools across India that helps them to evolve and revolutionize the way of learning. We are the number one provider of high quality, futuristic ERPs, CRMs, and mobile apps for students, schools, and teachers. A very warm welcome, ma'am. So good to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sakshi.
Moving on to our first question, let us start with why it is important to bond and have a sense of togetherness. How does it help?
Okay. So before we discuss the importance of bonding and togetherness, actually, I feel that we must first of all have an understanding of what exactly is bonding and togetherness. I think nowadays there is a different scenario we experience. You just take an example. If you go for a dinner outside, you will see that everyone is digged up in his mobile phone. And though the family comes together, but everybody is having their own individual personal safety zone, and they are all busy with their own mobile phones. That is the scenario which we see very often, not only at public places, but in professional places too. So it's really become a pivotal point for us to have a discussion on this, not only for today's parents also. From the parenting point of view also, it plays a very, very important role. So what is bonding exactly? So bonding, I feel it refers to the emotional attachment and a commitment that an individual makes to its social relationships, various relationships, like we have parents, we have our caregivers, we have siblings, we have peers, we have schoolmates, we have teachers, even romantic partners and other members of the community whom we are surrounded by. And this process of bonding and togetherness, it is carried out throughout our life cycle, right from our birth till our last moment. And this promotion of bonding, it means to develop and foster a strong and effective relationship, and along with a commitment to all the people whom I just mentioned about. When it comes to togetherness, togetherness simply means it is a sense of being close to other people, people who are connected to you, even sometimes people who are not connected to you also, So there's a sense of bonding, there's a sense of togetherness that you need to develop nowadays more. Okay, and furthermore, before we go on and discuss the importance thereon, I feel we should understand the purpose also, why it has become essential for us. Nowadays we are discussing bonding and togetherness on a virtual platform like ours. So the basic purpose is, like, as I said, that the bonding and togetherness is now not seen as much as it was, down the line, like 30 years, 40 years back, if you see. I hope you agree with me, Sakshi. Like how the times have changed. Earlier we used to live in joint families. Now the families have gone nuclear. Earlier you used to have so many of your siblings around you. Now there's hardly a one or two child in the family,
Right.
And that sense of togetherness. So that feeling of oneness, the sense of togetherness, that bond is somewhere gone missing. Furthermore, another reason what I think of is the kind of lifestyle we have. Nowadays it has become quite prominent for both parents to work. In that case, in a relationship, when it comes to marriage and when it comes to having kids also, so they don't plan for more kids, because then who will take care of them? And amongst all this hustle and bustle, there are careers to be met, there is lifestyle to be met, there are other things also. You have to have your personal growth and development as such. They say all these things. So because of these loopholes that we have developed in our own personal systems, we have to somewhere now educate ourselves, particularly the youth, where we say India would be a superpower. And if our youth lacks this bonding and togetherness, then it will become very difficult for India as a country, because it has its core value of this togetherness. We say united we stand. So that togetherness, that bonding, not only in the family but in the country as a whole, also has to come. Coming to your question now, how and why it is important for having the bonding and togetherness. Okay, so there are several things, which you need to consider why you should be doing this. Why is it important actually? First thing is, it builds the child's self-esteem. It's very important that parents and children, youth, they stay connected to the family, they stay connected to the friends and people around them, and they share the activities. They develop a positivity and a sense of self-worth within them, and that gives them that little self-esteem, which is really to be valued by an individual. Okay, small family activities, when you get together, making out trips, meaningful discussions, you just play a game of Ludo together, that really builds a different kind of a personality from within of an individual. And youth for today, where we are seeing children of in teens, even below teens, also struggling with depression because their self-esteem is hit so badly. So that is the reason, in order to boost that confidence and enthuse that a sense of belongingness for oneself, I think it's really important to bond together with people around you. Next important point, what comes to my mind is, it also strengthens the basic concept of the family. As I already mentioned, that from joint to nuclear and
yes, ma'am. That
yes.
is the next question that I was coming to, was what is the benefit of bonding with family and friends?
Yes, of course. See, there are several factors, when you talk of benefiting through the bonding. There is an ecological factor where you bond with the people and the environment around you. There is, again, an interpersonal factor, how you share your relationships with each other. Within yourself also, there is some introspection also to be done. And there is something called as an interdependence model also. A person cannot live a life alone. He can. Not at all. So you always are surrounded by teams together. You have to interact with people. You cannot seclude yourself only to your individual world. That will not take you anywhere. So it's really important. The biggest benefit is what I feel is, it prepares you for a whole new experience of leading a happy life, because you cannot be happy by yourself. When you share, your happiness multiplies. That is what is my feeling. Yes, and I feel there are different types of companionships and bonds also that people share together. Just to mention, like, you have a bond between a mother and an infant, you have a bond between a father and a child, you have a bond of friendship, you have a bond of companionship, bonds between two siblings, and so on. You can talk lots and lots. Okay, I understand we have a time constraint here, but this topic is as such, you really need to feel it to understand it. So if you are leading a soul life, a lonely life, then definitely you must come down to understanding the benefits. You have positive behaviors coming up, because you see youth nowadays, they become drug addicts, they become abusive of substances. So if you need to come out of all that, then certainly these kind of bonds definitely help you work positively, particularly your peers and your family. They do share a lot of things in common.
Coming to my next question,
Helps you
that's what I'm
communicate.
saying. How does bonding help today's youth in building a good relationship?
Yes. So that's what actually, I was talking of communication in the same sense, it helps you to share what you feel from inside. I don't see that, take for example, Instagram and Facebook, what you have, what you feel, you can't share there. Maybe you just can share a poster, but deep down inside, what is your feeling, you can't show that to everyone. There should be someone, your family, your friends, your caregivers, some close connects to share what you feel from inside. That sense of feeling cannot be, shared on a social platform, although it has to be on a personal platform. And furthermore, it gives you a different sense of, a psychological perspective for that matter, so that, you always can rely upon somebody, you can depend upon somebody. There is a strong support you get from, that's truly very important. So That's what I feel like. Interpersonal perspectives, psychological perspectives, social angles also play a very important role that can be benefited.
Right, ma'am. So, ma'am, coming to my final question, what I would like to know is how can children share the sense of bonding and togetherness with peers and family? Especially when you talk about, you just mentioned that there are youths who been drug addicts or go into a wrong direction. So, how do you think peers and family members can add a value so that they don't feel to be associated with those terms?
Yeah. So let us split up the answer in two segments basically. Let's talk of the family first and then we talk of the peers or the friends. Okay. So family actually plays the most important role here, in my opinion, because, and what family can do. Let's talk specifically about that. Family, when it comes to set up a bond so that the youth is channelized in the right direction, so that they pave their paths, they achieve their aims, and they set proper goals for their own life. They lead a happy and a successful life. What can be done? First thing is you need to have a scheduled time that you should devote for your family. It may be on daily basis, week basis. It must be there. It really, can revive you out of your regular chores, and it can rejuvenate that entire, freshness in you. It may be just going for a shopping, or it may be, going to having a wonderful dinner together. That will definitely help out. Even on the meals, also on the dinner table, also when you share your meals together, when you do your chores together, like household chores also, you divide it amongst yourself. I think families can do one very important thing. They have to create a mission statement for their own family. You might have heard of the statement, families that stay together eat together. So that kind of a stuff, every family should have something different of a mission statement for themselves. They should go in for several meetings whenever a guidance is required, when you come to an important decision making. Instead of individualizing the decision making process, make it a family discussion altogether there. You should encourage support even if the children are going wrong, or even, if you feel that, you also see there is a divide between the parents and the youth nowadays, isn't it? So they feel more comfortable talking to the friends. So it's okay, but I feel down the line, the child always has in his mind that though I'm relying more on my friends and my peers, but still I need a strong support from my father, from my mother. Okay, so that support should never go away from the family members. Okay, you should volunteer. You should be, developing interests in each other's activities. So that will really help. I think so. And when it comes to the peers, bonding with friends, it not only stimulates you as an individual, it stimulates you as a social being, and developing your personality also. Okay, so it may be at the school level, it may be at the college level, sharing, caring, empathy, all these values, these life skills, if you are developing in yourself, by communicating, by interacting, by participating in various activities, throw yourself open to the world outside, explore everything that is available. I think then the best of the best personality will definitely come out. I definitely feel so. There's last part which I would like to mention here. As we educators, the part of the teacher. Okay, so teacher also plays a very, very prominent role here. Okay, because the teacher can be a friend, can be a philosopher, can be a guide, and the teacher can really pave the right way for the child's progress and development. And I have seen there are many students, who really believe in their teachers. So I think even teachers' role also has somewhat, the little prominence there in a youth's life. And I hope that these things may definitely help us. And last but not the least, I would like to say that show affection, laugh out loud. You need to enjoy. Life is so beautiful. You need to have experience sharing amongst each other. Have these habits of saying simple words like thank you, please, excuse me. That really adds on to the flavor of togetherness, isn't it? Discuss your day, celebrate your accomplishments. I think that will be all. Okay.
Yeah, so ma'am,
Any more things, Sakshi?
yeah, coming back to the three magical words we will taught in our kindergarten ages, please, sorry and thank you plays a huge role no matter where you are, what life you're living. And it was a really fruitful thing that you've added to, this topic and has enlightened the entire thing. So, ma'am, again, a warm welcome and a thank you to you for being with us and, sharing your knowledge and imparting whatever guidance you can to us. Don't forget to
Yes,
subscribe.
Sakshi.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Sakshi. I would like to thank your entire team for rolling out such beautiful concept. I was really bowled over to see that you people are working with so much of enthusiasm. A big cheer to you and your team. Congratulations and well done.
Thank you, ma'am. So nice of you to say that.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
So, guys, this was our end of the talk that we had today, a beautiful session. Do subscribe our channel and do press the ring bell icon for more notifications.